industry, how to go about it, what are the procedures. So today we welcome a very, very special person, Mrs. Sanchita, to talk about the aviation industry and how to build up a career in aviation industry. Sanchita has over 30 years of experience with aviation industry. She has been a model. She also participated in Mrs. India contest, and she has two beautiful, lovely daughters. She is a fitness freak, and I can vouch for it. And I would first like to welcome our director, Ms. Sanchari Chaudhary, to welcome Sanchita and then start with the meeting. Over to you, Sanchari.
Thank you so much, Mansi, and a very big welcome to Sanchita. Sanchita, so lovely to see you here. And from the entire IHM family, and especially the IHM Bangalore family, we really want to go ahead and put across a very big welcome for you today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. And of course, taking out your precious time to go ahead and have a session with our students. So we are really looking forward to hear from you both. And having, heard such a wonderful introduction of yours from Mansi already, we are very excited. So looking forward to your session, Sanchita.
Thank you so much, Sanchari. Thank you, Mansi, for that beautiful introduction.
Just before we begin, I would like to tell my students that I will be moderating the session along with Rahul. So if there is any question that you have, you can put it on the chat box, and all your questions and all your queries will be answered soon. Okay, so over to you, Sanchita.
Thank you, Mansi. Thank you so much. We as seniors now, we have nothing much to give to the new generation, just mainly our experience. And I want that good and bad experience of, the aviation industry to be given to them, so that they take all the good experience of ours and build a beautiful career ahead for themselves, whoever wants to join, aviation. You have told everything about my introduction, but yeah, a little bit maybe I can tell you that, yes, I have been in the aviation, in the airlines about 3 decades now. And at a very early age, I joined. And at that time, there was this aviation as a career was definitely not one of the things we were looking forward to. Well, I was starry-eyed, all right, but I come from a very small town called Shillong. Most of you must have heard of it. It's a beautiful town. And from there, nobody really ventures out to do things this. And flying was obviously a very risky thing, which we knew in those days. Now it is a huge safety, we are very safe in air than actually on roads. So, yeah, so I finally, I joined at a very early age, and, my interview was very, very interesting, I must tell you. You have these written exams and stuff like that. I just applied. I saw it in the newspaper and quietly applied without even telling my parents about it. And when the call came, also quietly, I went to a place called Guwahati, and I reached there very late, and I saw almost a room full, about 200, 300 people writing the exam. I had to special request to let me in, because I was already 15 minutes late. But they let me in, and I sat, and in fact, I finished the exam 15 minutes before the rest of them. And I walked out and came back to Shillong. And of course, I got the call. And I realized in those days, the selection procedure was very tight, because there was just one airline, which was Indian Airlines, right? So the selection was very tight, and it was very difficult to get into these jobs. So I don't know, my height, weight, something, and of course I was good in sports, so that also helped me with my CV. In my interview, the day I came for a personal interview, that was the most interesting part I wanted to share with all of you. I came and I entered, and the first interview in my life, and I was shivering, and I stood there, and there were like 5 people seated, all big shots seated there, and high businessmen and, you know, directors and all that. And when I was sitting there, they told me to sit down. And then this one gentleman, one Captain Rao, he's no more, may his soul rest in peace. He asked me, okay, today is 5th November. It's your birthday. So I said, yes. So happy birthday. I said, thank you. So he said, so what would you like us to give you for a birthday gift? So I said, no, thank you. And, you know, thank you so much. I do not want anything from you except the job, of course. I don't know whether it was that or what, but yes, after about, say, 2 weeks, I got a telegram. Those days, telegram used to come, and a telegram saying that congratulations, you are selected for the air hostess. And those days we were called air hostesses. We were not called cabin crew or flight attendants, which has you know, have changed, because now there is more, even boys, male hostesses are also there. So they are called flight pursers, and they, so therefore the air hostess thing is gone, and now we are cabin crew. So that is how I joined. And of course, after that, I don't know if I hope you're not boring you, but after that, after a you know, interview, then you go through almost 8 weeks of training, which is in, you know, I had to go to Hyderabad for that training. After the training, they, you know, my first flight is also a very interesting thing, which I would like to share. My first flight, I was flying from Calcutta to Delhi. And, you know, my first flight with all the seniors and all new, you know, all the other crew members, like I was already very nervous. And I was with the senior most, she preferred to take me in business class. So I was working with her in business class, and guess who was my first passenger? And I will never forget that, because I think it's her blessing which I carried it through all these years. And I will give you a little bit of, you know, hints. She posthumously, she became a saint. And she was, you know, she gave her life, devoted her life to, you know, caring the poor and the needy. And yeah, so I think you've already guessed. She got a Nobel Prize, Bharat Ratna, and many more such things. Well, she was Mother Teresa, and I just went. And I, of course, requested my senior if I could go and meet her. She said, yes, yes, please take her blessings. So I went, knelt in front of her and just told her, Mother, I'm starting my career today. I want your blessings. And, you know, she touched my head and my face and, you know, kissed me and said, you know, all the best. And this frail lady, I'll never forget. That was my first experience. And that took me a long way. Till today, I remember it. You know, so that's, those are the little, yeah, in aviation, you have a lot of these interesting, of course, 30 years of experience, you have lots and lots of experience and lots of, you know, things which happen almost every day. You, you know, encounter different varieties of passengers, good, bad, and, you know, some people really love you, some people abuse you, some people, you know, just talk nonsense, some people. But overall, I did have a very good experience. I cannot, you know, complain much. My company has taken very good care of me. So I'm thankful to the company. And one, you know, a couple of, I was told that I should share a little bit of my, you know, onboard experiences. So let me tell you two, there's so many. So I just recollect two of them. One was, since all these, you know, new generation boys and girls are there, so I thought I should share two experiences. One is for the senior citizens who have joined here, and that's about Rajesh Khanna. Well, he was on one of our flights. You know, those days, only the elite lot used to travel, because only the rich and the famous could travel, because flying was very expensive. So we got to see the best of the lot. Everybody, being the industry, in the business industry, Hollywood, Bollywood, and everybody, politicians. So all the big shots we flew. So that was one thing which now is a little limited, because you have many more airlines, and many passengers have got many choices. So so this Rajesh Khanna came on board, and he was covered with this black shawl. He covered himself, and he just came running into the galley, and he said, "Can you please hide me? Can you please hide me?" So I was like, "Why?" He said, "No, they are." See, those days, people used to trouble you for autographs. Nowadays it's selfies. Well, those days it was autographs. And he was like, "Can you just somewhere, I don't mind sitting anywhere, under any table, anywhere, but please keep me away from the public." So we had to, of course, before takeoff, we couldn't. So after takeoff, we told him to come back. So he hid, he sat in the last seat, and, quietly he was sitting for takeoff. After takeoff, he immediately came to the galley. And we removed those carts. We keep carts where there's food trolleys, and once you remove, there's a little space there. So we removed 2 carts from there and put this blanket under it, on it, and and he quickly got inside and covered himself with the shawl. And throughout the flight for 2.5 hours, that gentleman was sitting under that, galley area, under those trolley cart area, which is like, not a very nice place to sit. But he did sit for 2.5 hours. And towards the end, he invited the entire crew to his house. I think it was called Ashirvad or something. We went by evening from our hotel. We were taken in a car, and we went and had dinner with him. So that was one very good experience, one of the experiences which I remember. And one more, of course, I would like to say, which is very interesting, and that is, Sachin Tendulkar. Well, he must have joined somewhere he was, I think, 15 or 16 years old. That's all. I mean, so these cricketers used to fly with us, and their only mode of transportation was us. So we used to, wherever they used to play, we used to take them to that particular destination. A flight used to be, chartered for them. So they were going somewhere, and I remember Sachin Tendulkar. He was this little small young boy, and this Kiran More was there. All the big names were in the flight that day. So like Ravi Shastri and Kapil Dev and Gavaskar and all, they were all going to play somewhere. And, Kiran More came and requested me, "Can I get a paper and a pen?" So I said, we don't keep paper and pen, but I managed to give him a paper and a pen. And, he said, "Can you just go and give it to that boy there sitting there? His name is Sachin. Can you go and give it to him?" So I went and gave it to him. Behind me, this gentleman, this Kiran More came. "Ye le, kagaz le, kalam le, baith ke, signature, banana seek for autograph. Le." The way, I'll never forget that, the way he was treated, because he was one junior thing, and where Kiran More is and where Sachin Tendulkar is. But yeah, these are few of the things which, I have encountered, and these are very good experience which I will never forget. Okay, so enough of experience and boring it. Well, now the part where, maybe a lot of you young boys and girls would be interested in aviation. Well, aviation is an addiction. You have to love flying. Flying is, a nasha. So if you have the love for, flying, then of course you can join in many other you can join as a pilot, you can join as a crew. So as a cabin crew, I can't talk for pilots, but as a cabin crew, main thing in a cabin crew is, you share the responsibility for the safety and the comfort of your passengers, and you should be able to handle right from the VIP passengers to the passengers, the first time flyers. So you have to have varied, ways of handling our esteemed passengers. So that is one of the main things required as a cabin crew. And well, I can tell you the key skills which is required for, a cabin crew, to become a cabin crew. Apart from, yes, number one, the main one, of course, is good communication skills. Well, you have to be very good in English, and of course the second language will be Hindi, since it's our mother tongue, and our country's runs, those who can speak English will speak English, but the ones who cannot speak English understands Hindi. So these two language is a must. All our communications and everything in all the airlines are done in these two languages. So good communication skill is the most important thing. Then excellent interpersonal skills. Well, you apart from your relationship with your passenger, your interpersonal skill with your crew members, with your cockpit crew, with your ground staff, with your commercial staff, has to be excellent. So you will not fly the same person, same crew every day. Every day it will be a new person. You will just introduce yourself, and that's it. From then on, you start, so your coordination and, cooperation has to be so important. So that is another thing. And then the next important thing as a crew, I feel, is ability to keep yourself calm in any kind of exigencies or emergencies. You have to remain calm in dealing with difficult passengers, in dealing with elderly passengers, in dealing with babies, a lot of, you really have to be very, very calm. So the main thing for main requirement for a cabin crew is calmness. Then, of course, diplomacy. You have to have the diplomacy and tact. And then, of course, apart from that, physical, good color vision and hearing. Then good general health and fitness. Fitness is very important, because you will be flying for long hours. Like along with fitness is your ability to keep a cheery countenance, where when you have been on your feet for very, very long time and in different time zones. So that is also very important. And assertiveness, of course, is important. And then your whenever you join, you apply, you will be asked about your height, weight, your medical is important, so so your minimum, as per different airlines has different requirements, but I think your minimum age is 18 to 21, depending on which airline you are joining. And then with, of course, required proportionate body weight, which is BMI. BMI is very important. It is required by the DGCA, the Director General of Civil Aviation. It's not the airline requirement. It's the top boss's requirement, is your body mass index. And basically, I can sum it that you are required to look smart in your uniform. So that's, I think, main skills required to be a cabin crew. And I don't know how much time I have, but I think, I can, if there are questions to be answered, I can start answering your questions and take it on from there. So maybe some things which I have not covered can be covered through question and answer sessions. Anybody can ask me any questions. I will try and answer as far as possible. So shoot.
That was a wonderful session, and it's really nice to know the insight, and I hope my students who want to get into aviation will start working on it. So we'll just see if there are any questions. Students, if you have any questions, please put it across. Let's make it as an interactive session. We're just seeing if there are any questions. Sanchita, before the questions are pouring in, why don't you talk about some of your international experiences and how do you deal with jet lag?
Yeah. Well, by now, of course, my body has gotten used to all kinds of lags. So jet lag is not really an issue for me. I told you I am a fitness freak, so I do work out a lot. So once we go to an international flight, we get a layover. So we make sure we go to the gym and, you know, work it out and stuff like that. And we don't stay there for long. So by the time, you know, the jet lag sets in, we are back here again. So it is not really difficult. You know, it's all mental actually. If you want to do something after a long flight, we are shameless people. We just after this long flight, people would like to go sleep, relax, but we will all get dressed up and all and just get out and go shopping and go seeing. So, you know, we do and then by the time we come back, we are like dead. We just sleep, wake up, have breakfast, and again we are on the roll. So we really don't have much time, but whatever time we get, we do make use of it. You know, so yeah. And yeah, international flying is a little difficult. I do mostly international flying. I do the European and the United UK sectors. In fact, Bangalore London is almost 13 hours flight, so it is a little difficult for so it gets tiring, especially the new generation. They love to sleep. Their sleep is so important. For us, you know, sleep for us is not as important as theirs. I know how it is, you know, the new generation. But yeah, but when the you know, end of the month, when the salary comes, and then, you know, you feel good about it, so you are all set for the next month again. So, and a lot of you know, yeah, we are given a lot of things like you know, you can fly um, free to various countries. Of course, that is after a couple of years of experience. Then you get more and more, you know, tickets, freebies, this, that, a lot of things you get. So all those things, I guess, motivates a person a lot. So
I think that's the award of your hard work.
Yeah. So basically,
I think we have incoming more questions.
Yeah. I will be just asking. Let her finish.
So we, in fact, you know, yeah, people see only the outer part of our life. So, but it is a difficult life also. You cannot just say that, you know, the outside part, we really, oh man, you guys all, you're having breakfast in London and lunch in this so and so and dinner. So these are the things we get to hear a lot, but no, it is tough. It is very tough. But I guess, you know, if you want to do it, you can do it. And our international passengers are usually half the time, of course, they're sleeping. The rest half of the time, they really eat your head because they don't know what to do in that 13 hours closed door. And so we are the only people whom they can really bother and worry. But yeah, I mean, you get used to it, I'm sure.
Okay, Sanchita, there are a lot of questions pouring in. My first question, the first question is from Pratik Lakhania, and he is asking, what is the BMI requirement to get into the crew?
Are you a boy, or Pratik should be a boy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So for girls, it's 22. For boys, it's 25. Okay. So yeah, it's, you know, along with your height and weight. So you should be knowing that. The girls.
Pratik, start working on it. Okay, our next question is, how is hotel management or hospitality industry going to help in aviation?
Wow, that's an excellent question. Actually, we have lots of crew who have come from the hotel industry, catering, lots. Actually, most of the boys I interact nowadays, at least around 20% of the boys are from, mostly boys of course, are from the catering industry, hotel, IIHM and all. There are lots of boys. So this actually helps you a lot, because you are good. The service, see, this is a service industry, and it's totally service, and you are being taught service there. So I think you will do excellently well in this in aviation. So we are awaiting your arrival.
Okay, our next question from Sarthak Das is experience in domestic airline needed for international airlines?
Yes. Yes, you if you have even a year or two of experience in domestic airlines, it helps you immensely to get into international airlines, and therefore people, especially a lot of attrition happens from in Indigo and SpiceJet and of course this Vistara and all, because they come in here and join for 1 year, 1.5, 2 years, and they just go and apply for Qatar and Emirates and stuff like that. But mind you, I don't know, you go there international, but we Indians are more happy in India. So again, many are unhappy there, and they would like to come back to their own country. So before you do that, you should give it a lot of thought before you decide to quit India and then go and settle abroad. You will still be a second-class citizen there. You will never get to work in business class. You will be treated quite, you will be working only in economy class. So these are the things which happens if you go from India to any other country. Like the Britishers will prefer the British personnel to be in first class and business class. They will never take an Indian in first class. So these are the things which you have to get used to. But again,
that's really nice of you. We have another question from Pooja NK. She's asking, ma'am, may I know about the pay and the working condition in the airlines?
Yeah. Pay, I think, starting basic for you guys, for the newly joined, is roughly about 20 to 25. That's the basic. And, in the aviation and airline industry, it's your flying which is important. The more you fly, the more you benefit. So it's per hour, we are paid per hour. So if you suppose you are on a 10-hour flight, so you will be paid like, if it is like 500 rupees, so on a 10-hour flight, you'll be given 5,000 rupees. So it's more, the higher you fly, the higher you get paid. So roughly, I think a new, one of the new joinees should be earning roughly about, 70 to 80, if not more, nothing less. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Our next question, we have many questions, so don't get tired.
Don't worry. As long as I can answer, I will answer.
Okay, Vishwendu Pandey is asking, what is the procedure to apply for cabin crew, and is there any particular course for it?
There are a lot of these aviation colleges which has opened up, mushroomed nowadays. And if you have the money to waste, why not go? But I personally feel if you have a good personality, if you can speak well, if you have a good CV, if you are basically your physique, and you got a good appearance, I think that takes you through. I don't really, because in the interviews, nobody asks you, about the aircrafts. They will ask you about your day-to-day, general knowledge. And you start with, I think, first you will go through a written test, and then you clear the written test, then there will be some group discussion, then there will be personal interview, and the most important is your medical test. You have to get through your medical test. Medical is, total full body medical test is taken. you have to get it done, and they will see to it. And of course your height and weight is also, they will even a kilo here and there, they will not accept you. So if they have asked as per your height and weight, if it should be like 65 or 70, it better be that. You cannot say do kilo zyada hai hum, they won't. So work on your weight, your fitness and your weight. I think that will pull you through. Don't waste your money on these, Frank Finn and all that. I don't think so. It really takes you. But then again, yes, your confidence, I'm sure if you are underconfident, if you don't know how to come and, attend an interview and all, those companies will definitely help you. So I'm not saying don't go, but I'm not even saying that go, so it's up to you. But these are the,
Okay, so students, both communication and nutrition, both are important. Remember that. Okay, our next question is from Smita Chaudhary. Is there any course that we have to complete before applying for aviation?
No, I think it's almost more or less the same question, the previous question. I don't think so. You have any course. Yes, once you are selected, the airline will train you according to their requirement. So then there is a course which you will have to go through. Probably you will have to pay for it in many airlines, because the attrition happens so much. So nowadays the airlines have become very smart. They will train you with their money and then you leave. So they have started taking money for that training itself. So you get trained under their shadow. But yes, there is a training, and it's quite a tough training which you have to go through.
Our next question from Vaishnavi Desai. What are the advantages being a part of cabin crew, and what is the rate of promotions?
Well, once you become a cabin crew, you wouldn't like to work in the offices and which I'm doing now, and I really don't like it. I do flying as well as office job as well, but I think I would love to fly. So once you are a cabin crew, you would want to remain a cabin crew. Yes, of course, there is a career progression, but it is just more to do with your basic, which will keep getting increased accordingly. So, and your experience, of course. So then also, your career as a cabin crew, you can, on the first day you come on board, you will not be the senior on board. The senior on board has got a lot of responsibilities. So, you will have to go, say, roughly certain hours and certain years of experience. And then you are, again, you have to go for an interview, of course, which is in the airline itself. After that, you become the CS, which is the cabin supervisor. And once you're the cabin supervisor, yes, your perks and everything increases drastically. So a lot of the private airlines, the girls, they join fast, and then they get their cabin supervisor, and then they leave. So, and join the international airlines, because then they go as a cabin supervisor there. So which, works. So these are a few of the techniques which I guess the new generation applies.
That's very well said, Sanchita. My next question is from Saurajit, and he's asking that what will happen or how to deal with emergencies?
Well, you will be I told you, you will be trained so well that, you will be able to deal emergencies. Emergencies will come, and it's number one, of course, if you're a human, you will want to save yourself first. So to save yourself, you cannot save yourself before you save the others in aviation. So you better save others and save yourself. So that's one. And you are taught very well. We have an excellent all over, Air Asia, I think, has their training in Bangalore. Air India has their training in Hyderabad, in Bombay, in Delhi. Then Indigo has their training institute in, and they really, for 8 weeks to 10 weeks, they really grill you. and they put emergencies in your head that, you will be able to encounter emergencies. You don't have to worry. That is one. And if, I don't know, I get this sense that the question was a little about safety as well. Well, today's, aircrafts are very safe. I feel more safe in an aircraft than actually in the roads today. Believe me, the way the auto drivers and the scooters and the bikes come, I feel very safe in the air. So, so you are safe. But again, calamities do happen, and you have to be mentally prepared for it. And for that, you have to be trained.
Sanchita, there's a very interesting question from Tenzin. She says that she is not an Indian citizen, but she is interested in cabin crew. For what are the documents that she should have to fly in India?
I don't think so. This I will be able to answer, Tenzin, but I don't think so. Outside, we have anybody who is from, who doesn't have if you have an Indian passport, then it's different, but I am not too sure. I cannot answer this. I will have to maybe find out and then maybe pass on to you later.
Then we'll get back to you with this information later.
We really don't have anybody from outside. It's generally outside airline people come and join us, but they are Indians, So we don't, I think you have to be an Indian to join Indian Airlines, any Indian Airlines.
Next question. So Tenzin, we'll get back to you on this. Next question is from Shubham Mukherjee. Is the different international airlines need different qualifications? And for aviation, do we need any other qualification?
No, you have to be 10+2 in most of the cases, or a graduate from any university. But apart from that, or equivalent to that, you can have anything like, like this catering college stuff, or I don't know, but they're equivalent to 10+2 or graduate. Some airlines require graduates. Some airlines, like private airlines, they take 10+2 girls and boys. So, you need to, minimum requirement is 10+2. Okay. And what was the second part of his question?
For aviation, do we need any other qualification that you answered?
No, I told you in my introduction only, I told you if you have things like, your CV is filled with things like you are a sportsman, because a lot of airlines have their own sports, teams. So if you're a boy, of course, these are the things which come in real handy, in your CV. So there is no such course, but yes, the only requirement is you must be 10+2, you must have the correct age, and you must have the correct height and weight. And of course, you have to have a very pleasing personality. It's very important.
So there is no different requirement by different international airlines. It's all almost the same.
No, like small things like, you cannot have tattoos, you cannot have this. These are the small things which you cannot smoke. I think in certain airlines, Qatar or something, they can tell if you're a smoker, you will not get the job. They are very strict on that. So these little things are there which you can correct yourself. But not really. But if you are experienced from any airline, they come almost every year from different airlines of the world. They come and take Indians, because Indian passengers are the most difficult passengers to be handled by the foreign crew. So they prefer to have Indian crew to take care of the Indian passengers. So that is why a lot of Indian girls from all our airlines have got into these international airlines.
Our next question is from Rohan Singh. What is the basic training period for a cabin crew?
Yeah, hi Rohan. After you get you're selected, you will be sent to a certain training institute from the airline itself. It varies between 6 to 8 weeks. And in that, it's a huge curriculum you have to follow, and you will be trained. Once you're trained, then you will be brought back to the base, and then you will undergo a few flights like, the training flights. On board, you will be wearing a trainee badge, and then you will be, working along with the seniors to get the hang of how to work, how fast, because you really have to work fast because you hardly have time. And if you are joining a full service airline, well, apart from, you don't have to sell things, but you have to do a lot of service. So yes, you have to be they generally train you. They train you very well. You don't have to worry about that at all.
Okay. Next question is a very cute question. This is from Michael, and he says, ma'am, what is the required height for being a cabin crew?
Yeah, for a boy, I think it's 172, if I'm not, yes, 172 minimum. And for a girl, I think it's 162. Yeah. For a boy, it is minimum 172. See, these aircrafts nowadays are big, huge aircrafts. You have to reach on your toe, you have to stand and reach out at a certain level. So they require tall people in the airlines. Like for me, I'm 5'8", so so most of us are tall.
So is this a basic requirement for selection, the
yes.
height?
Yes, height is a very important part.
Oh, okay.
Height and weight is the most important part, right?
Okay. Now there is another question from Shubham, that you're talking about cabin crew, but he's got selected for Emirates flight catering, and only medical is left. But for further procedure, Emirates has asked him to submit his passport for applying for the visa. He just wants to ask that, ma'am, is that safe that they took our passport?
Yeah. That's a requirement. You have to bear with it. They will need your passport before they start doing anything. For you to go there, they will require your passport details, and So congratulations. You can, once you are in flight catering, slowly, you can get into flying as well. So.
Okay. Next question is from Rohan Singh. That's another cute question. Is there any problem in getting into airlines if someone is wearing spectacles?
No, you have to have there is a eyes requirement. You have to, I don't think so. On the entry level, you cannot you have to have certain powers. They give you a certain power, and different airlines has different requirements. So I cannot answer straight away, but whenever the advertisement comes, they give that as a with specs, without specs, or you can wear your what is it that called lenses, but it has to, the power will be decided by the company. So there is no, I don't think so specs will be allowed in the initial stages.
A lot of questions pouring in, Sanchita. Another question is,
have time, why not? These children are like waiting.
Yeah, that's very sweet of them, and they're just loving it. So next question is by Pooja NK. She is saying that she has heard that if you get into airline industry, it is very difficult to get back to hotel industry, or vice versa. Do you have any idea on it?
I think, Mansi, that you will be able to answer that well, but I don't think so. I don't think so. That is, I have a few of my colleagues who couldn't continue flying because of certain, your medical is very important. So some people cannot take the pressure of high flights and all that. So high pressure and all. So they would prefer to work on ground. So there are, and these very pretty looking girls. So they immediately get selected in, and if you have airline as in your CV, it is very easy for you to actually get into the hospitality industry. That's what I feel, and I have seen many girls who and boys are in the hotel industry now. So don't worry, I'm sure you will get into it. But get into the airlines, and then if you don't like, then go to the hospitality, and you have both.
That's wonderful, Sanchita. One more question by TG Vamsi. He says, ma'am, what is the procedure to apply for aviation? How do you come to know, and how do you apply for it?
There are few websites. Something like, A lot of websites. I think you boys and girls, you can ask Mr. Google. The minute you ask him, they will all. So there are a few websites. But having said that, individual airlines. Suppose you want to join, say, Indigo or Air India or something. You go onto their individual website, and you will find a career page, and get into their career page, and they will be information is given to them, given to the public that way. Otherwise, newspapers and radio, everywhere they start thing. But having said that, now I should be right now as we speak, because of this COVID thing, aviation is going through a little tough time. So it will be a little time. You guys, whoever has got issues with weight and all that, communication skill, all that, you start improving all that. Now you get immense, like at least 6 to 8 months. I don't think so any recruitment will happen anywhere. So, you can take that time to gather all that. And your age is limit is between, up to 27 years of age you can join. So anybody who has got who is about 23, 24, you have another 3-4 years to go. So don't worry, advertisements will come out. But right now, I don't think so anything is going to happen with any industry for that matter.
There is another question that if someone has tattoos, what can be done?
Yeah, tattoos are not allowed. Visible tattoos are not allowed. If they are somewhere tucked inside the body, it's fine. But I think certain international airlines, that also is not allowed. But in India, I think tattoos are allowed, but then it has to be hidden. It cannot, and nothing should be visible.
Okay. Sanchita, there's another question. So before that, I want to tell you, our students specialize in 4 departments. So housekeeping, front office, F&B, and kitchen. So there's a question which Tenzin is asking, that which department is most suitable to specialize in hotel management if they want to join the aviation industry?
What are the things you said? Kitchen?
Front office, kitchen, F&B services, and housekeeping.
I think from any, there is no such, see, ultimately, whatever she does or he does, catering ke saath kuch involvement, flying ke saath nothing is there. It's just her communication and her way of her pleasing personality will work. Her confidence level will be more, because she's already coming from an industry which is, similar to aviation industry. But I don't think so. You can do anything, whichever interests you, so that in future, in case flying is not happening or whatever, at least you are doing something which interests you more. So if it is the kitchen, then if you like kitchen job, kitchen, you should go for kitchen. If it is F&B, you go for F&B. Nothing, your airline job will not get affected because of that.
Okay, next question is from Tushar Thimaiya. Ma'am, is there a possibility to work as a cabin crew after having experience of working in the kitchen department in the hotel industry? I think almost answered this question. Yeah. Moving on to the next question, Kishore is asking you, does skin tone matter?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he's meaning by skin tone, but we Indians are a little biased about the skin thing. But then, no, I don't think so. It really matters. And if you have very good physique, or you are tall, you work out well, you have got good interpersonal skills, you can communicate well, I think the skin tone will take a back seat. But yes, if you don't have all that, then I think the skin tone also will, affect. So I don't think so really, but again, yeah. But we do have all different kind of skin tones in our airlines.
So Sanchita, that was really nice. You answered so many questions. So to sum it up, students, good communication skills, most important, verbal, non-verbal, both. Good CV, that's extremely important. health and fitness, please start working on it. No smoking. Keep your ears and eyes open, and please be aware about the job. And I'll just check if there's any other question. I think there is one which has come up.
Talking about it, both Mansi ma'am's classes are important.
Well, that's what she's trying to say.
Okay. Ma'am, I have a tattoo on my chest and it gets hidden when I wear a shirt. So is that fine?
I think so. I mean, I think so. And if you apply for the, I think, to be saying you just quietly apply, don't mention about the tattoo. And then the day of the interview, just try and cover it up and go. I think it should, I hope it will not come. It depends, of course, which airlines you're. I told you, Qatar and all is a no-no. There are few international airlines. It's a total no-no. So depends which airlines you are applying. In India, I think it is clearly mentioned that no visible tattoo. So I think as long as you can cover it, if you're wearing a shirt, it shouldn't matter.
Any more questions?
I think they're all set now.
Yeah, you can just give your last message to my students, and if there is anything, I will get back to you later on this.
Yeah. No, nothing there. I mean, I would have enjoyed if it would have been an interactive class where I get to see them. And this COVID thing has really made it impossible to do all these things. But maybe in future, I would like to come to your college and then meet all of them who has asked me these questions personally, and then, take it on from there. So it will be, I would love to come and meet them, all of you. And, this generation is a excellent generation. You all are so intelligent. You all have all, you're digitally so, you have everything around you. When we were there, we did not have anything, and we managed. So now, but I told you, as at the starting of my introduction, I told you flying is an addiction. If you like flying, come what may, you will not even get sleep. You would like to go back to flying. So it's an addiction. Traveling, if you have an addiction for traveling, if you have an addiction for flying, if you have an addiction to be amongst people, help people, all that will come a long way in the thing. So let's hope and pray that all these things get over and we are all back, in action, and aviation comes back, because a lot of people are losing jobs. Just pray for them. And, we want to see you all guys doing well, wherever you go, whichever industry you go, just do well, live well, enjoy, be kind to one another. I think that's all I can say.
So to all my dear students, I feel feedback is a great way of appreciating. So you can send it on social media, you can send it to us, you can appreciate. And if there are any more questions, you can always send it to me, which will be answered. And soon, of course, once the lockdown is over, we will invite Sanchita. I'll ask Sanchari ma'am to invite Sanchita over to college so you can meet her personally and ask her many more questions. So indeed, it was a great session. I think our director is also here to say thank you to you. Over to you, Sanchari ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mansi. Sanchita, thank you so much. It was amazing. I had, in fact, I was sitting through and listening to you, and everything that you in fact said, so true and really commendable on your success story. It was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sanchari ma'am. Hope to see you soon. Thank you so much.
Hope to see you soon. And I'm very sure that, today our students, as Mansi was rightly saying, they had a lot of good questions. And these questions are, I'm sure most of the other particular campuses students would also be having the similar kind of questions. And we never really had such a lovely outlook the way that you had given us today, with your experiences. Thank you very much, Sanchita.
Thank you very much.
We look forward. Please stay safe. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mansi.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.